consciously accepted a system of money and banking, and we are asleep in our relationship to it. But the hopeful side is that in general we are becoming more conscious as a society. There is a strong interest in wanting to become more conscious in all of our relationships. The first step that must precede the creation of a new money system is to replace the old one. I think that's exactly what's happening right now. A lot of us are starting to wake up to these new possibilities of a new monetary system. And we're starting to see it actually manifest itself in this world. And it all started with Bitcoin. Bitcoin was created from a need. There was no way to get one transaction, or to make a transaction happen in a specific way between parties, maybe on the other side of the world without exorbitant fees that might have prohibited that transaction. There were also types of marketplaces where the current methods of payments were not able to actually facilitate that transaction. So Bitcoin came out, and Bitcoin was able to grow as buyers and sellers started to come into the network. At first you have one seller of a product and a buyer that comes in who can only buy with Bitcoin. And then once a new buyer comes in, well actually in the first transaction, the seller has to take a risk and accept those Bitcoins at whatever value they price them at. But then, once more and more buyers and sellers come in and exchanges start to come in, you start to develop a market. And every time you accept those Bitcoins or whatever digital currency, it becomes less and less risky to accept that currency. But the people who take the biggest risks in the beginning will also be the ones who are the most rewarded. So once Bitcoin really started to grow, we started to realize a lot of the need for other types of tokens as well. So digital tokens, platforms like Ethereum started to come up, which is actually programmable money, more than just a medium of exchange or a unit of value. I think the simplest way to describe tokens in general is that it connects a need to capacity. In whatever form that might take. And the freedom that we have with digital tokens is endless. We can literally say, okay, here's a unit of something, and assign any sort of value, any sort of process to that over time. My favorite author of mine is Friedrich von Hayek from the Mises Institute. He says, perhaps when the money economy was only slowly spreading into the remoter regions, and one of the main problems was to teach large numbers the art of calculating in money. A single recognizable kind of money may have been of considerable assistance, and it may be argued that the exclusive use of a single uniform sort of money greatly assisted the comparison of prices and therefore the growth of the competition in the market. Today, we don't have that problem anymore. We have applications that can easily balance, where you can easily see what the exchange rates are. We have amazing projects like Bancor coming out, who can also algorithmically price a lot of these digital tokens themselves. So when we decide we want to create a digital token, what are some of the main pieces of what we need to decide before we're going to create this currency? And the first thing that I always like to look at is the technology. What are we going to build it on? Is it going to be on EOS? Is it going to be on Ethereum? Is it going to be on BitShares? And why? How much capacity does that system have? Are there any limitations? Why is it unique, and is it interoperable? Is it eventually going to be able to connect to other blockchains and stay relevant? And then how much capability does the team have to build on top of this technology? A lot of people are making big promises right now, but can they actually deliver on the things that they say they're going to build? The community. The community is, to me, one of the most important pieces of the project, because your support from the community is what actually creates and sustains your value. By having a user base, you're also incentivizing all of those people to participate, to share the things about your project even further. The community also provides a relatable human element. A lot of this stuff is very etheric in nature, and when you can bring it down to earth and make it relatable to people, it just connects in a different kind of way. And as your community builds, the growth and the trust around your business also starts to grow. So then the token model itself. A lot of people right now are creating token models that are specifically used to raise money to focused solely on growing in value. But there's ways to create sustainable ecosystems that over time the value of the tokens will grow just because of the way they're structured. And there's a lot of different ways to do that, some of which I'll go into in a little bit. The word embeddability, I don't really know what another word for that is, but I guess like nesting. Can you use your tokens within other applications, almost as a feature? And does it have utility both to be held and spent? Just some of the factors to take into consideration when building some sort of sustainable model that will be able to last and hopefully grow in value over time. So we've always had bad money because private enterprise is not permitted to give us better one. In a world governed by the pressure of organized interest, the important truth to keep in mind is that we cannot count on intelligence or understanding, but only on sheer self-interest to give us the institutions we need. Blessed indeed will be the day when it will no longer be from the benevolence of the government that we expect good money, but from the regard of the issuers for their own self-interest. So everybody acts in their own interest. And we start to realize as these token models will develop that it's actually in everybody's best interest to help and support everybody else. So as opposed to this competitive nature that a lot of the banks, the competitive and exclusive nature that has been going on for so long. So tokenized ecosystems. There's a few different forms that I would like to talk about today that are really starting to develop. I guess the first one would be a consumption mechanism. A token that you can use within an application, something that could maybe be a subscription to a service. And as demand for the product grows, the token value rises. So you have a limited amount of these tokens, maybe 1 million or 1 billion. Let's say it costs 10 to, in the case of Gollum, to rent out some decentralized computing space. So if 100,000 people want to use it every day and need to spend 10 tokens, you're going to have a lot of buying happening in that market. You're also going to have a lot of selling in that market because the people who are getting the Gollum tokens might want to divest and issue some other digital tokens. But by doing that, you're creating a sustainable ecosystem because you have buyers and sellers all the time, which is a market. Gollum does the decentralized computing and Storj does the decentralized file sharing, which are two kind of the fundamental use cases that I think are going to be the rails for a lot of other applications that come up in the future. So next is kind of a utility model. Tokens that you can earn through actually physically doing tasks, sometimes even in the actual world. An example of Rex MLS is a real estate platform where you can build a database for real estate transactions that kind of like Trulia or Zillow. You can build the database yourself and earn Rex tokens for doing that. And the more reputation you build, the more listings you put on, the more people say it's good, then you have a higher reputation and earn more tokens. You can spend for platform items. Again, in the case of Rex, you'll be able to do things like title insurance directly through the platform and eventually even tokenize your entire real estate asset. So again, it kind of grows through the increased use over time. As more and more functionality gets added to those tokens, the value can also grow there because you're creating more need with the same amount of tokens. Another sort of model is a sharing or participation model, similar to, you could also call it maybe a distribution, where owning a token kind of implies your participation. You have rewards for purchasing or holding. In this case, community engagement is a lot more important. I guess the best example is that I can think of right now is a project that I'm working on in Boulder, Colorado called Our Roots. Basically, where our tokens are given to the users, and by buying the tokens, we're able to purchase hydroponic shipping containers that are farms that grow about 1,000 pounds of produce 8 to 10 times a year. So everybody who has a certain number of these tokens has a percentage of this produce. And at harvest time, we either give the produce to the users, or we sell them directly into the market and give the users back some of the cryptocurrency for that. And all that the user has to do is hold the tokens for that to happen. So I guess the last main piece here is layering value. what makes these tokens so much more beneficial than traditional, I'll just say, fiat currency. And it's the fact that you can layer things on top of each other. So as an example, excuse my rudimentary sort of graphic here, but on one level we have kind of these application tokens like Rex MLS and Aragon Network Token and something like Ether, which we can hold as assets which will grow over time just by themselves, just by holding them. But then we have these platforms like Melonport or Economy, where they're actually taking the assets and pooling them all together. So now, if you hold a Melonport asset, you might be earning from all of these at the same time, just by holding one token. And then you have the platform tokens like Golem, where you can also earn from those. But at this kind of meta layer here, we have projects like Bancor and TokenCard. TokenCard, as an example, is a debit card provider that you can swipe and choose which Ethereum assets you want to spend at any credit card terminal. TokenCard. And a 1% fee from every transaction goes into a smart contract. And for holding the tokens, you receive a portion of all of those fees that are being swiped every day. So just by holding token cards, you are actually not only receiving the appreciation of the token card assets themselves, but you're also receiving the appreciation of whatever's in that token card smart contract all the time, which could be portfolios of other tokens, could be these tokens themselves, could be single application tokens. But this layering of value can provide growth in ways that we've never really seen before. And it's truly amazing to see seeing it unfold, like as it is right now. So my last stage is, or my last quote is from a man named Hakim Bey, who wrote some amazing books, I think. He's one of my favorite authors. The universe wants to play. Those who refuse out of dry spiritual greed and choose pure contemplation forfeit their humanity. Those who refuse out of dull anguish, those who hesitate, lose their chance at divinity. Those who mold themselves blind masks of ideas and thrash around seeking some proof of their own solidity end by seeing out of dead men's eyes. So, I think the point of this for me is that we should really just try stuff. You know, we're still at the very beginning of this tokenized ecosystem. We're testing things, we're experimenting. We want to do the best we can to limit sort of any destruction that might happen in this new form of disruption. But there will be a lot of failures, but why not try something, you know, and be creative. We have literally unlimited possibilities to do whatever we want in this new world.